Welcome back, softies, to another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast. This is Jason.
And this is Frankie. We thank you for being with us.
Tonight, we're going to sit down, we're going to watch the Pac-12 championship, and hopefully our bets hit tonight.
Spoiler, they will not. So you want to talk about our league here? You're still resting guys for the postseason, pretty much.
I don't feel great. Like, all right, it's nice that I'm already in the playoffs, and these games don't necessarily matter, but I also don't feel great about it at all. Like, I was really hoping that I would get a bye. It does not look like it's going to happen. I think John's going to beat me this week. It's close right now, but it's just my team is kind of gross right now. I need my dad and I need Craig to lose.
No, it looks like Craig's off to a rough start he had Metcalf.
Yeah, I know.
Good job, Jeff. You say we just bash you on here, but you're going to beat Craig.
Way to wreck some people's hopes at the end.
Spoiler.
My dad's, he's playing. Who's he playing? Anthony? No, he's playing Asher this week, right? Yeah. He's so funny. He's like, he texts me and he's like, "Who's this team?"
Asher's changed it like 4 times.
Asher keeps changing his name. I'm like, "It's Asher." He goes, "I thought he was Bangin' Swift," and I'm like, I'm just laughing because my dad just said Bangin' Swift, but. Oh man, they're getting ready to. They're heading back to Arizona on Monday, so he's
nice.
Getting all of his stuff together and heading south. I'm thinking, well, you better get your lineup in order.
He sounds pretty invested this year. I think he's.
Yeah, he is. That was actually probably the problem with the changing name, was that he had to figure out who it was for his spreadsheets.
I need to start doing spreadsheets, evidently. Yeah, I'm just. Even if I went out, I don't even know if I'm in. I haven't done the math, but
I was looking at it a little earlier today, and it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know that our league has ever been this like bunched up for a couple spots this late in the season. So what do we've got? Well, this is week 13.
Yeah, this week and next week is it.
Yeah, so you got 13 and 14,
regular.
And we have. So there's 3 of us that have spots locked up. There's another one. John he's pretty close to having one locked up.
I think he's one away, yeah.
Yeah, if he beats me this weekend, he's got one locked up for sure. And then we've got almost the entire rest of the league is within a game of each other. You got one at 6 wins. You've got one at 4 wins. And then you've got like 5 at 5 wins.
Yeah, something like that.
And
the only thing I got going for me is that I do have the points on most for tiebreakers. Yes. But I also lost Jonathan Taylor after just trading for him. So gross. I'm having to start possibly some dude named A.T. Perry at a flex position this week. I don't know if I can bring myself to do that.
Why did you drop Tajay Spears?
I don't like. He only had like 2 touches last week.
Yeah, is he going to have more touches than A.T. Perry?
He won't have his. I think A.T. might be the only receiver this week because of what's his name?
I'll be honest, I don't even know.
With the concussion.
I don't know what team you're talking about. I don't
New
know
Orleans.
What team he plays for.
Thomas. They don't have any receivers. Oh. They got to throw to A.T. right?
Yeah, Olave is going to be there. He'll be available.
But Tajay Spears. I just looked at his stats. It's just disgusting.
I picked him up.
I saw you put some money on it, even some fake money.
I don't have. What am I going to do? Like, for me, I'm like, well, maybe in the next 2 weeks, Derrick Henry will get hurt.
He probably will.
Although there's a chance I have to start him this weekend.
Tajay, and he'll go off. But I picked up P. Ryan, which I don't mind. Maybe because they've been using him in the past game a lot in PPR.
Well, the funny thing about P. Ryan is that at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talk. Like, he was going to be the guy until
Williams.
Yeah, Javonte comes back, and he was going to be the backup. And then it was that McLaughlin guy, and then all of a sudden last week they went back to P. Ryan. So I don't know.
They said the last 2 games, they've just phased out that McLaughlin completely, and they've been
how that happens.
Yeah. And in the 2-minute drill, it's Pirine where they're throwing a lot, so he gets a lot of dump off passes. Yeah. So I just hoping for 9-10 points maybe, but
yeah,
we'll see. I had a decent start.
In the end zone.
Yeah, decent start with CeeDee Lamb last night. He's a monster.
What was he projected to score?
21, and he got 32. So
well, there you go. That's like having an extra player.
Yeah. And he actually had another drop in the end zone, which would have been.
I know. I watched that game.
That was a hell of a throw. Jesus.
A lot of times I'll watch the if we're not down here recording, like I'll watch the Thursday night game or even Monday night games, but I can only watch like a half, 3/4, and then it's late, and I have to go to sleep because I'm an old man and I fall asleep. But that game was a surprisingly good game.
Finally, a good game on Thursday.
I couldn't believe that Seattle kept it. Well, they were ahead most of the game.
Yeah, it did not look good there. The defense was just awful, which is different from them.
I know.
I don't know what. I don't know if it was the 3 games in 12 days or what, but
I had a parlay that took to the very last 2 drives. So I had Dallas in a race to 10 points. I had Pollard over 50 yards, and I had Lockett over 32 yards. And I had Dallas to cover 3.5. And so Dallas got the cover piece at the very end.
On that field goal.
Yep. And Lockett he had his last catch of the game put him over.
It was like a 12-yard out or something. Yeah.
And it put him over that mark. But it took to that very end, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm going to lose another one here. On was it Minnesota's game was what? Was that last Monday?
That was ugly as can be. I almost
lost. I lost a parlay on that one. Jordan Addison had 39 yards, and it was over 39.5. And the whole last quarter, he didn't catch a fucking ball.
Well, because Dobbs kept overthrowing him.
Yes, it was so. He had so many close calls. He had a couple penalties.
The first play of the game, and then No,
that's when those parlays they're fun because it's not so dependent upon the outcome of the game. It's player specific, but that's what happens sometimes. Is
that one you sent me? I don't know if you ended up betting it. The Dallas first half money line, CD and Pollard over a certain amount, and Dallas to win. It's that looks pretty good, but you would have lost it because they lost the first half by a point.
I didn't bet that one. I changed it up. I thought going first half and the game, I thought that was I didn't think that was the way to go. And so I just went with the whole game. I thought they'd cover. I thought they would cover 3.5, no problem. I thought they were going to cover at least the touchdown. Yeah. But boy, Seattle really kind of proved me wrong there. It was kind of really close.
No, they looked really good. They looked. I mean, that was a huge game for them. They're in some trouble now, Seattle. But
even that four-leg parlay that I did was only plus 160.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing about some of that stuff is it's really geared towards you think you're going to win it because it feels easy. But the other side of that is that you are taking the easy way out and the odds aren't that great.
Yeah.
So
it's not that exciting, but
whatever it hit, I guess. I had a bad last weekend.
Sounds like Asher did too.
He's throwing around a little more than I would, but that Thanksgiving Day game, boy, it just started off terrible.
The
Lions just wrecked everything.
Packers, yeah.
Every bet I had, they just wrecked it.
They wrecked everyone, I think, that day.
That was just nuts.
Nobody saw that one coming.
No.
I think they might be frauds.
I don't think there's a might about it. I think at this point it's evident. I think their biggest problem is they don't have any defense.
None.
Right?
I thought they'd be a lot better on that side. They don't have anything. And then they're relying on Goff to not make a mistake. And
he's been a good quarterback, but
he's good. If
he's not lights out, then they're not going to win.
No. How was your Thanksgiving? Good?
It was good. We were over at my parents, watching football and hanging out and drinking all day. We just did like those big egg noodles, and I think it was just chicken. It could have been turkey. I don't know. But it was, it was fun. We had some sides. We had some desserts. I will say I have a new leader in the clubhouse for favorite desserts for Thanksgiving.
What's that?
So my realtor, even though I haven't, bought a house or anything in over 10 years.
Yeah, over a decade.
One of the things she does every year is that she either picks up or makes pies for her clients, and then you just let her know which kind you want. And this year the options were pumpkin pie and banana cream pie.
Or a hand job.
No hand jobs. Just pies.
Must be really good pies.
Yes. And so my parents, who also use her as a realtor, got the banana cream pie, and then we got a pumpkin pie. But the banana cream pies, they were all homemade. The pumpkin ones were just the Costco pumpkin pie. And so the banana cream one, phenomenal. Like, that might be the new leader in the clubhouse is the banana cream pie.
Sounds pretty good. Were you did Bruce catch you American pieing that thing in the kitchen? Just stirring it. No, that does sound pretty good. Give me your realtor's number. Let's see.
Yeah, other than that, we didn't do a whole lot. We just, we hung out all day, and What about you guys? You guys had
pretty tame. I didn't
two different Thanksgivings, I assume?
Yeah, I really didn't. We didn't go after it too hard on the booze. Well, my mom had the cardinal sin of only having one beer in the house. I was like, come on, Mom. What the? So I was doing some White Russians, and I can only do so many of those before your stomach hurts with the food. So
and the grocery stores are closed.
Yeah.
You can go out
it was
and
awful.
get
But
much else.
well, I did have a few at JD's parents' house that night and finished. Didn't have to worry about the Cowboys. That was a fucking steamroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty uneventful. Just nothing much. Ate way too much as always. But
that's what always happens on Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah, but I mentioned hand jobs earlier. I have a friend, and that's all I'll say, nothing more, was talking about getting serviced at a massage parlor. And I didn't know they did that.
I didn't even know that was an actual thing. Like
it's a thing. I thought you'd think bigger cities, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you hear about it.
Robert Kraft.
Yeah, you hear about like Robert Kraft and what's his name, Deshaun Watson. These guys getting themselves into some trouble and stuff. But I did not think that in our quaint little city,
everything's perverted.
This was a
now.
thing.
Yeah. He found a place, and I guess they gave you a little hand gesture at the end to see if you want a happy ending.
I was curious on how that came about. Like, did they do you think they sought out this place because they knew that was a thing?
He had heard this from a other friend.
What kind of people are you hanging out with?
I have no idea. It's a
seedy
bunch of underground,
a bunch of sick people.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll let you know how it is. I got an appointment next Tuesday. Asian lady speaks no English. Be perfect.
It's just crazy. Like, it's crazy that it happened. It's also crazy that he told you anything about it.
That's kind of a flex, I think. I don't know.
Not a good flex.
You wouldn't tell me if you got jerked off at a massage parlor?
No. You'd be the last person I'd tell because it'd be on a podcast.
It would be in our group text before I stepped out the door on the exit. I'd be like, you would not believe what just happened.
You would be live texting it as it happened.
Can we have a podcast from the jerk off parlor?
Oh man.
Oh. That was a fun story over Thanksgiving weekend here.
That is so funny. I just like there's just that would
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be a little nerve-wracking. I don't think I would.
I don't even know if it's about that. Like, it's just so kind of weird and gross, I think, a little bit. I don't want to say gross, right? Like, whatever. To each their own. I guess if everybody has their kink, I mean, that's fine, whatever. But me personally, like, you just feel like you're in public and like these are strangers.
You don't want a wrinkled old Asian hand on you. I told him, like, do you know how many dicks have been in the grip of that hand?
Yeah, she probably knows what she's doing.
She's a real pro.
This is like, it's a gateway drug.
One day, massage parlor hand jobs. Next thing,
jobs. Next thing you know, he's
a nightclub where you're getting blown.
He's paying for hotels by the hour. Then after that, it's the parking lot behind the Arby's. Getting from. It's gonna
be Deshaun Watson's 30 for 30.
Man, could you imagine if he does have a 30 for 30 and they like go back and they like interview all of those masseuses?
He's one I could see them doing. Yeah. I was it wrong? Sure, but there's been guys that do worse.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Well, yeah, like there's been a lot of Ray Lewis murdered somebody.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he killed a guy.
I mean, OJ killed a lady, and like I'm pretty
cut
sure
her head off.
I'm pretty sure he jokes about it on Twitter now.
Yeah. What was that tweet he had? It might have been during the whole COVID bonanza, but about shutting golf courses down or something. And he's like, I might just go crazy if they shut the golf. And people are like, how crazy, OJ? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Is I'm like 85% certain that he is trolling everybody on Twitter.
What a piece of crap. I did money line them. It wasn't a.
Did you?
It was a decent. I mean, they were plus 9.5, so I don't remember what I got it at, but the odds, it was.
So we're watching the
Washington.
Oregon,
I guess
Washington
I should. This
game.
Terrible podcasting.
Yeah, it's all right. And
from what I've heard, we're pretty bad anyway.
Well, I think that maybe that's why people listen.
Yeah, well, I told our neighbors listened to it on the way to their Thanksgiving meal.
Oh man, I hope
they had kids in the back. I said maybe put some.
Yeah.
They said they got their headphones on, so it was fine. But
well, then shortly after he followed us on Twitter, so he must not have hated it too much.
Shout out to Craig the Leg.
Our soon-to-be next
Our
champion.
soon-to-be, I think he's the leader in the clubhouse. Yeah.
Oh, man. He has a good team.
He really does.
He has one of those teams that has been really, really, really good, like 8 out of 10 times. And so
he's got those guys like, well, obviously Hill, but like guys like Mostert, who nobody expected that from him. And
if he, he's
going
to have a bye.
I believe.
He's going to have a bye in the playoffs, I would guess. And then whoever has to be on his side of the bracket, you just hope that he has an off day.
A bad matchup or something, yeah.
If they just play just normal, he's gonna be a problem.
I'm trying to think who else. Yes, Jacobs, who's come on, and Hawkinson, and then
Hawkinson has been nuts.
Yeah,
what a player.
And the quarterback, I believe, is Herbert, who puts up numbers. Yeah.
He's got a couple good quarterbacks, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I went from a very deep team to now starting possibly A.T. Perry in a make-or-break game. So my trades just top heavy. I went top heavy on the starting lineup, and I left no depth.
I don't. That's not a bad strategy. It's a swing and a miss strategy.
Swing and a miss with the injury.
Sometimes it happens.
That Jonathan Taylor came out of nowhere. He finished the game and had 20-plus points. All of a sudden, he's getting surgery. Like, what the hell?
He won you the week.
He did. Yeah, without him, you would have beaten me easy.
I thought the trades that went down in the league the last couple weeks,
they were fair.
I think they were fair. I think they were all. I think it was great to see them. To be honest,
mm-hmm. It's fun to do.
Yeah. I didn't feel like we did a trade.
I'm kind of sick about our trade now because Lawrence is coming on. Maybe I could have rode him instead of Fields.
Well, I didn't know that you pulled the one off for Lawrence too. At the same time.
I don't even remember. I was drowning in trade
offers. All right, so I had Fields, and I also picked up Kyler Murray, and they both played. Yeah. And they both did equally well. But I had one, I thought you would like Fields more than Murray.
I would. I do.
And so I that was part of the reason why I put him out there. But also, part of the trade we did was we swapped like
tight ends
or something.
Yeah.
But I got McBride, and he went with Murray, right? That they're the same team kind of connection thing, whatever. But you got Fields, and I don't even know if you still have him on the team.
Ferguson.
Yeah. So.
Well, when I got Kelsey, there's no need. Yeah. You can't play 2 tight ends.
So essentially, it was I gave up Fields, I got Pittman. And I thought, for me, it was a good trade, right? I can't start 2 QBs. It's the end of the year.
No,
you got to take a swing at this point, right? Like it's no longer a season-long game when you get towards the end of the year. It is.
No, I think it made sense for both of us. I couldn't start. Well, Jordan Love all of a sudden looked good too, but I didn't want to trust him down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then I did have Lawrence, who looked like crap until the last 2 weeks.
Well, you got Lawrence like at the same time.
That was from my dad. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So like I traded you Fields, I got Pittman, and then all of a sudden you made a trade with your dad.
That's right.
And you got Lawrence, and you got you gave up.
I can't remember.
Well, you got the running back. What's his name? Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, for Cook and.
Yeah, you gave up
Najee and
Stroud.
3.
We talked about this on the last episode. You gave up Stroud, Najee, and
I guess
Cook.
I don't remember getting Lawrence in that one, but I must have.
Must have, or you did something else with your dad, but I think it was your dad.
It was.
And then, then you had 2 of these quarterbacks, and I assumed you thought that Lawrence was,
I still don't love him, but he's been good the last 2 weeks, so.
And then you did another trade with...
I was all over the place. Asher for Kelsey.
Yeah, you got Kelsey. Anything else out of that?
It was pretty much Kelsey. It came down to Kelsey for Kyron Williams pretty much.
Okay.
I did have Cooper, but I think he's done without a quarterback, honestly.
I think that I get why, like, now in hindsight, after seeing that game, like, maybe that was a bad move. But I get the move, right?
Well, because
the guy's coming off IR, and you don't know what he's going to do. You think he might do something. No one thought he was going to do that.
And granted, that was against the worst defense in the league against the rush, I believe. One of the worst. I don't expect him, but he is a good player, no doubt.
So,
but yeah, I kept. Asher probably would have taken Warren too, but I like Warren. I think he's pretty damn good. It's just Najee's in the way there, but. He still gets his touches.
Oh, you mean you think he would have taken...
Instead of Kyron.
Oh. That would have been hard to stomach from the league. Like, I think people would have had a problem
People were bitching enough.
I thought it was a fair trade as it was. I think it turned out to be a fair trade.
Yeah, it filled the hole that I had there from Pittman.
Like, even though Travis Kelce didn't, go off, he still won the week, and Kelce might still go off. He's still Travis Kelce.
Well, he said, like 17? That's fine. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I wouldn't, I think it's a pretty fair move. I don't think Kyron's going to do that every week. I think that.
No, but he is a
I mean, there is some truth to the idea that from a draft capital perspective, Kyron Williams should not go ahead of Travis Kelce, but on the year, what's happened,
you can't go back and I mean, so I said if we had a draft today, Kyron would be a top 2 round. I think he's an every down running back.
Yeah,
who catches the ball.
Yeah, he would certainly be. Like, if you knew, without the injuries, if you knew that Kyron was going to be the kind of running back he is, right, he would certainly be middle of the first round, maybe late first round.
Early second, maybe. But
And Travis Kelce, if you knew what he was going to do, I still don't know that he belonged at number 3 overall, so maybe he's back in the same spot, like middle to the back of the first round kind of deal.
Yeah, so my thinking was at the time I couldn't play all those guys. And if it's just sick when you have a guy on your bench that has 20 plus, I hate even looking at that. So
so just get rid of it.
So just get rid of him. So you can't fuck up starting. But yeah, no, that Taylor, that blindsided me. I actually.
Yeah, but you can't. There's nothing you can do about that.
I actually was at my dad's when I heard it, and I punched the countertop because I was so upset.
Did you break your hand?
Yeah.
Did you break your wrist? You do it just so you could have the same fucking injury as JT?
I would have to make up a story, not because my fantasy football player got injured.
Bar You'd have to say something like you were out at a bar and someone made a pass at JD.
Yeah, I had to take care of business.
Oh God.
So yeah, that was a kick in the nuts. But hey, everyone has injuries. Yeah, move on.
And I hope Oregon loses this game.
Me too. Yeah, they do not look very good right now.
Everybody, the whole last week or so, everybody's fucking sucking Oregon's dick. They're the best. I can't believe, Washington beat them, but now Vegas knows Oregon's favored by 9.5 or 10 points. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I don't think this. I think any SEC team will kill these guys.
Yes, I don't think either of these guys are going to be national champions. But I stand by what I said in the last podcast that I think Washington will be in the Final Four.
I think they certainly will if they. You got to 13-0.
Yeah. If they win this game, they certainly will. If they lose this game, I don't think either of these teams get in.
What's going to happen if Bama wins tomorrow? It'll be kind of fun.
Fucking mayhem.
What's going to happen if Iowa wins?
Are you going to take either of those first or second half overs on points for Iowa? I'm going to take both, I think.
Over?
So, all right. DraftKings, it's changed a little bit. But a week ago, DraftKings had the first half and the second half over for points for Iowa at 0.5 point. Essentially, they're saying that in any given half, Iowa is not going to score a fucking point.
Sorry.
So my thought is
your better half walked in.
Yeah,
I had to say hi.
She's trying to get in on the magic. And so either way, what Vegas is saying is, you couldn't predict Iowa to score in a given half. So my thought is, I'll bet them both. I think logically Iowa scores on Saturday. I do not think
I don't know.
They get shut out. I just don't see it. I think that their defense is good enough to give them some short fields. I think they'll get at least a field goal at some point, right?
I hope.
So if I bet them both and only one hits, you're only losing, a little bit off the juice, right? But if they both hit, then hey, it's like 2 winning bets.
Mia wants to know what to do with your little elf tonight, Ethel.
No.
Have it 69ing something. I don't know.
The stupid elf was the biggest mistake we ever made. Do you guys have one of those, Elf on the Shelf?
Yes. And they have babies, 2 little ones that I have to hide too.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you guys made a bad situation even worse.
They named them Brooks and I can't remember.
So our elf's name is Ethel because Lucy and Ethel get into trouble, right? And it is just, it's a problem. You think it's just this is cute, your kids will think Santa's watching and all this shit, and then you have to figure out new shit to do. 24 plus days out of every year for I don't know how long. We have 2 kids. So, she's 9, but
let's keep it going. The show goes on.
The second one's got to go until at least the same age, right? So, I don't know.
It's
10 plus years of having to hide this thing around the.
And I have had nights where I completely forgot, and they're just in the same spot. And
No, that's what you know who hid the elf at our house. So last night was the first night that Ethel came back, and she was in the tree. There was my daughter left a letter for her, and then left paper for her to write back, and so. She wrote back. Mia used toilet paper to spell something out on something. It was this whole ordeal.
It's an art project. Yeah.
Now if I do it, the elf is just hidden somewhere.
That's what I do.
And it's somewhere I've regurgitated some place.
It's hanging off a vase in the living room.
Yep. It's hanging from the curtain rod or something.
I should just have a noose around its neck one morning. Hanging from the cupboards.
Over. Sorry. I gave up. Yeah. I couldn't stand to be away from the North Pole any longer.
Rosie's gone.
Yeah, no, those things are just a nightmare. And then it's like, you forget that not every parent does that shit, right? So then your kids go to school.
Oh yeah, they talk about.
And they're talking about it, and then little Johnny and Sally are like, "Oh, we don't have an elf."
Yeah, sucks to be you, Johnny.
Yeah, maybe you should be a better child.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're always wondering, like, does Lucy know? Like, does she understand what's going on here?
But just wants to keep the game going.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's what Gianna's doing, deep down.
Yeah.
But she loves it, so.
I mean, I try to remember, like, when I was a kid, at some point but also you're like, it's nice to have presents that are just sitting down there for you when you get up in the morning.
Yeah, looking back on the jokes that my dad made, he's like, I heard Santa loves chocolate chip cookies.
Santa loves a good bourbon.
Well, he likes a Cuban and a Scotch waiting for him.
Bears are on their way.
Hey, I don't think they look that. I mean, the offense was not good, but
9 wins still in play.
Their defense is pretty good and young.
Yeah,
that Sweat deal's looking pretty good.
And if them playing better has that cornerback that will want it
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
He may want to be back in.
That's who I wanted Dallas to try to get at the deadline. They didn't do shit, but no, he's good. I don't know why you wouldn't just build around that guy.
You certainly should. And maybe that's part of what they say. It's like, hey, just...
No, I think winning's good. It gives them a good feeling going into next year, and you still got Carolina's pick no matter what. And they probably won't make, so they'll have a good pick too.
I just don't think that giving up on Fields is the way to go.
Well, this is another reason I kind of wanted him in trade, because these are important games for him. You know, he needs to play well and prove it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was not real pretty on Monday, but although those fumbles really hurt him. I mean, that's minus. I'm thinking fantasy. Well, that's -4 right there. Killed the drive.
God, I can't believe I still almost won that game.
I can't. I thought
catches. It was 2 of those Addison catches.
I thought it was over. When they had the ball after that second fumble, I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna go kill myself. Nothing. It's like the worst thing is to just snuff out all hope, and I still had a little. Hope.
But like, I do this with the rosters when I figure out who I'm gonna play. Like sometimes, like I didn't think that Addison. I didn't really know that he was gonna be it wasn't like he was gonna be the best wide receiver of my choices, right? Like I kind of thought that all 3 of my wide receiver choices for that spot in the roster, which was basically him. It was the Arizona tight end and whoever.
Douglas.
Yeah, Douglas.
Demaria, whatever.
And it's like they were all, to me, were the same choice. Like in my head, they all have about the same chance of being halfway good and whatever. But then I was like, Addison plays on Monday. That lets me have hope.
Yes.
If I have all of my players play like Sunday at noon and I'm losing, like it's over.
Or if you're up by like 3, and you're just hoping for an injury or something. Yeah.
So I do that. Like
I do that too, and that's why I may play the great Zay Jones this week because I'll have Lawrence, and then maybe Zay catches a stray touchdown. I don't know.
I love like the Monday night kicker.
I tried to get him, and George, I think, got him. Yeah, McManus.
But
I know, something to watch.
Yeah, keeps you going.
So I tell myself, if I'm down, don't panic yet. We can. But the problem is Anthony's got this week. He's got Ridley as well, so we're going to be pretty close to even. Yeah, and Ridley all of a sudden decides to play well. What that is about?
1 week.
2 weeks. If I played him in that big money league last week instead of, I think, Warren, I would have won. It just pisses me off. Oh, well. But, yeah, it should be good playoffs. Wild card weekend, our party. That's always fun.
when is so?
It's got to be January, first weekend of January. I
haven't talked to Matt at all. Usually, like I'm talking to him about like where the party's at, or
he's kind of usually late notice on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of schedule that weekend.
Yeah, it'll be that.
I'm sure it's at a house first at least. And
who won the league last year?
That 49 Ed.
Maybe it'll be at Ed's house again.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the epic party that was at Ed's house?
It's when the guy broke
many years ago.
I think you have, but that's awesome.
This must have been, I don't know, 10 years ago. So it's Wild Card Weekend. It's a just fantasy football party where everybody in the league gets together, potluck, drinks, watches football, gambles, whatever. And we used to do this game where you pick a team. We're there all day for both games. You pick a team in each game, and every time they score, you take a shot. And so,
just a terrible idea.
Well, you can kind of choose your own adventure, And so one year we all of us choose Cleveland because they don't score any points. I don't know how they snuck into Wild Card Weekend, and they kind of went off. So then it made for a much more exciting day, and it ended, at least at Ed's house, it ended with one of the league members breaking a Jägermeister bottle over his head.
And those are thick bottles.
Those are thick, and they got corners.
Why? How did he not pass out? Like, die?
I don't know. He was a big dude, and he just it shattered.
Did he bleed? He had to bleed.
Oh yeah.
Like profusely.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, like he was bleeding.
Was he just like, all right, guys, want me to go home now? Like,
no. We went out to the bar after this.
Was he bleeding? Was he still bleeding? It's like, sir, you're bleeding from the
Sir,
eyeballs.
You
cannot have a drink.
Sir, you have to go through the concussion protocol before you can come in here.
Well, I'm going to do it to you at this year's party.
Remember when it was
great
at your
prank.
House?
You just knocked out.
Remember when this party was at your house?
Yes.
And the one guy, we thought he had a heart attack, got dropped like it was sniper fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, the party went silent for a minute. I really thought he was dying. And then, what am I going to do with the corpse?
How do I get rid of a body?
You just dig a hole.
Frankie's Googling stuff, and it already comes up because he's Italian.
I just call my dad.
Oh.
Brings over cement. Well, that was also the party you shot me in the back with a blow dart gun.
Yes, but it wasn't unprovoked. It was a bet, if I remember correctly.
This was just me saying how drunk you got to be to bash a bottle, and I was drunk enough to be like, shoot me in the back with this dart. So maybe I am the mix of stupid and drunk as well.
If I remember correctly, there was some sort of bet on the line, and you lost the bet.
Yeah.
And then I shot you with a blow dart right in your back.
I don't know if you.
Was there a chance that you were paralyzed after this? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I felt a little something in the nerves. I don't know if you were aiming for the ass or the back, but I still have that blow dart thing.
Remember when someone shot a blow dart in your
that's the
PEX piping, the water pipe?
All these stories that just show me I need to get rid of this blow dart gun. Yeah. It's just bad news. Yeah, I looked at...
You're up there, you see a blow dart in a tube, and you're like, I'm going to grab that. And you pull it out, and then it starts spraying water everywhere because the dart was plugging up
Again,
the
not
hole.
my smartest move to pull it out when I saw without turning off the water first. And
oh, man. It's never smart to pull it out.
I ended up just flooding in there, and I was in my underwear, drenched, frantically calling my dad for help.
You should just put the thing back in.
I was spraying in my face.
I can't believe it stayed in there. PEX piping is so high pressure. I can't imagine.
I gotta say it was a hell of a shot. I think I know who did it, but
oh man.
Yeah, there's too many fun toys. I remember I pulled it out right before the Iowa basketball Big Ten championship tournament game. And instead of being able to watch the game, I was dealing with this. I was so mad. Asher had a guy that he knows that wanted to put 500 money line Iowa, and I couldn't risk that.
What was the number?
$6,000 if Iowa somehow miraculously won.
Oh.
I couldn't.
You could have taken it and
that would ruin me.
Yeah, but you could have taken it and laid off part of it at DraftKings.
Yeah, I guess it's not too late. I guess, but
I mean, I hear you. That's one of those things where like it's so tempting. It feels stupid to take, but
there's no way I was going to win that game.
There isn't, and so like
there's no way.
Yeah. So the question is, how bad do you want that guy's $500?
I know. It's got to be the biggest spread in a championship game.
Oh, God. I don't know that I'll bet it at all.
I'll put a couple bucks on, huh?
No, I mean, it just feels like such a sucker's bet. I'll put, true, it's only a couple bucks. I probably will put something on it. But it just seems like such a crazy amount of just hatred towards Iowa.
I think they're being real. I don't think they're just realistic. I mean,
is Michigan's defense that good?
They are, but they don't need to be. I don't think to beat Iowa's offense. It's kind of like look at the Penn State game. Iowa was like a nice first half. I think it was 10-3, but then the defense just wears down, and all of a sudden it wasn't 10-3. It was 10-0, and then Penn State won 31-0 because Iowa's defense was out there so much. You kind of give up.
But didn't Rutgers give Michigan all they could handle?
Yes.
Didn't Iowa play their best game against?
Yeah, 22-0. That was by far their best game.
I mean, so it's just a matter of
a play.
You never know.
Yeah, like a pick six would change, something like that.
A couple short fields, I mean, I think that part of the problem is that Michigan can just go out there,
run the ball every time,
and never throw a pass, right? Run that clock down. They're probably going to score, a couple touchdowns.
I do think Iowa's defense is really good.
It sounds like another underplay.
35 is the under right now.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think Iowa has a chance to score, do you think Michigan's going to run the score up? No, I don't.
It's just a matter, like I said, the Penn State, they got worn out, the defense. And I don't know, you're out there so much, you kind of get, I don't want to say give up, but demoralized when your offense can't do anything.
I might play.
I don't know, I'm kind of excited for the game, though. I just want to see what
I might do.
Happens.
I might do the over on Iowa for the first half over and the second half over. Nothing parlayed. This is just normal bets.
Bet.
First half over, second half over, and then the under on the entire game.
Under 30, 35. It sounds good.
And then you just hope for something like 24-9.
Yeah.
24-7.
If you told me I was getting 9 points right now I think I'd take it and hope our defense just shuts them down.
Yeah.
Give us 9 points. Let's see what happens.
They're getting like 20 points.
After 20.
Are you telling me you're going to take
No.
Iowa?
I mean, as far as winning the game, if you told me Iowa can score 9 points, I think I'd take the 9 points right now. Because I don't think we're going to get to 9 points.
Oh, that's so nuts.
I just don't see it, but it's crazy things happen.
No, I don't know. You all pay closer attention to this than I do, especially Iowa.
They are. It's the worst offense I've ever seen, ever. And granted, they weren't going to be great anyway, but they have lost their best players.
Yeah.
Their top 3 tight ends, which they're a tight end team. They've lost a couple running backs, linemen, obviously the quarterback. They're just decimated.
That's true.
But they wouldn't have been great anyway, but they might have been a little bit better than this. I don't know.
And the competition for them this year is just not.
No, the Big Ten West is a joke, but
I mean that game against Nebraska,
it was hilarious.
Such a terrible game.
Didn't they almost score on a blocked field goal? They almost scooped it up and
yes.
that would have been awesome.
Oh man.
I'll tell you what, they do get a lot of national hype though, just because of how funny they are.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of run.
I don't know if you watch the Pat McAfee show. Those guys are pretty.
Some of it.
They always talk about Iowa, mainly because one of them went there, but they lead the show every day with Iowa.
God.
In fact, I think a couple of them are going to the game tomorrow to Yeah.
But wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But no, the Georgia Bama game, I am looking forward to that. I could see Bama upsetting them. 5-point spread.
I have won more than my fair share of bets this year on Georgia, but I think the play, if anything, is Alabama.
Yeah,
I just it's hard for me to sit around and say that Alabama, when they do have it going a little bit.
Granted, they should have lost last week, but still.
Yeah. But I imagine it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, 5 points. I might take at least the spread for them. I would
take the spread.
Yeah.
I don't think I would take them money line. I think I would take the spread. If Alabama doesn't cover, I think it's because they lost by 2 field goals. I think it's I don't think they get blown out.
No, right? I don't think so either. I don't think Georgia's great, but they're not what they were the last couple of years, I don't think. But
yeah. I mean, I think you're looking at, I don't know, man, 31, 35, maybe less. It's
pretty high.
It's pretty high scoring, but maybe it's...
I'm calling it 20...
31, 28.
27, 24. Dogs. I think they want, but I kind of want Alabama to see what they do with this whole fucking playoff thing.
That's the fun of it, right? Mm-hmm. Is if Alabama wins, like, all right, Oregon. Let's say Oregon wins, Alabama wins, Louisville wins.
I do think Louisville's gonna win.
Yeah, they probably will. I heard that Florida State's backup QB might be out.
They're hiding his concussion, I believe. They're just kind of hoping he's nobody catches it.
I think Vegas has already caught on.
Yeah, I even with him, I kind of like Louisville in that game. I actually have them in a parlay right now. Me, Brad, and David went to Bix. Let me enunciate: BIX, Bix and Company on.
Okay.
A bar.
Yeah.
On Sunday to watch football. It was a blast. And
is that in
we text you knew about it. Valley Junction area. That was a fun day.
Just on Sunday?
Yeah, remember Brad said if anyone wants to get together?
Oh, yes.
I took him up on that and just met him out there. And
what was I doing Sunday?
God, we watched from noon up until the end of the Eagles-Bills game.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was a lot of fun, actually. Pretty affordable drinks. And
no, that's an all right place. I like it.
Well, the TV, they had every game. There was a wall of TVs. We're talking about doing that again before the year's up. I'll let you know.
We should, because, it won't be long and football will be over with.
It goes so fast. I can't believe we're almost, 4 games left? 5?
I don't know what the fuck we're going to podcast about after football's over.
I'm going to lose this game, by the way, now that I'm seeing it. They're coming back. Oh, shit. This is turning bad. I don't want Oregon.
No, I don't want them either.
What's the other big games tomorrow? It's Florida State, Louisville, Iowa, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, and then
Bama, Georgia for sure.
There's another one I thought.
Texas, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, where they killed the Longhorn.
Oh my God!
Jeff's sending me that there's more to this. That it had nothing to do with. It was rival Oklahoma State frats. I didn't know it ran this deep. I have no idea. Well, Jeff yelled at me for saying it was a fake news story. Had no affiliation with Texas. 2 frats at Okie State going after each other. They hate each other. One of the dudes, the frat, found a dead longhorn at his grandfather's house and brought it to their other. How do you bring a longhorn, a dead longhorn,
And wait, why are you doing this much research into it? It was much cooler when it was about Texas and Oklahoma State. It loses its luster.
If I was the Texas coach, I'd be like, nope, they killed our mascot.
I mean, it loses its luster when you figure out that it has nothing to do with the Big 12 championship, and it's just some guy who found a dead cow on his fucking family farm.
And then they carve shit into him. It was brutal. I guess it was already dead. That's a little better, but yeah, shut up, Jeff. Let us have our story. But
yeah, that's how we're gonna base all of our bets.
The soft knock, hard lock, Texas minus 15. You're gonna blow them out.
Good catch.
Boy, this game turned. Jesus.
Under's looking good. Well, maybe not. I think the under was
had to be
66.
Yeah.
Something like that. The over-unders, outside of the Iowa games, the over-unders are hard for me to look at and comprehend, what it should or shouldn't.
I hate taking under because you're just cheering for nothing to happen.
But you're also winning from the
I know,
start.
you're winning at the beginning, but how about my call of the under last night, huh? Jesus Christ. That, you just never know, man. The NFL is just...
I don't know.
And then you look at that Seahawks roster, it's like, they should be better than they are.
What was the under? It was
47 and a half.
See, my problem with the under and that is just looking at Dallas and what they've done at home.
That's what I mean. That's what I did.
They score so many points. It's is the other team going to score any points? Because if they put up 40, did the Seahawks score a touchdown? Well, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was they didn't play that well last night on defense. But you got to admit, Dak.
I also think, though, that part of that defense or part of that game last night was fluky.
Well, the officiating, they called a penalty on everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of calls that were a lot of penalties. But I just mean that, some of those passes, right? DK Metcalf score a couple of those touchdowns, those catches were the first one. It feels like a blown coverage or something.
I think the safety didn't sit back far enough. Yeah, I know they gave that one to Bland, but I think that was more of the safety. Bland was right on him. I think it was more the safety,
but Dallas got out of there with the win.
That's all that matters.
All you can do is survive and advance.
Well, look at Philly. They're winning. They're ugly wins, but they're winning. It still counts. That's going to be one hell of a game next week, Sunday night. But Dak, he is playing better than I've ever seen him. You see what Rodgers said about him? He was on the McAfee, and they talked about Dak's that cadence, that here we go.
Oh God!
How do you? And he's like, before we get into that, I just want to talk about that Dak is. There's very few guys that play the whole position. He's doing amazing right now.
Yeah.
He's calling the right checks and getting the ball out, knowing who's blitzing. He says he's really playing the whole position right now, and he says I know he gets a lot of heat, but he's been awesome. He said it's one of his favorite guys to watch this year.
He's him. Actually, from a pure quarterbacking standpoint, he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, I think they had to get used to that new system, and look at the Chargers. Kellen Moore, people figure that system out for whatever reason.
It's been surprising that the Chargers have not
just
been better.
Inventing ways to lose. But that was the knock on Kellen Moore, is that the route trees were predictable. And eventually, when you face a better defense, they figure that out. I don't know. But Mike McCarthy did have some questionable decisions. Not so much play calling, but decisions last night. Was the end of the game when they could have milked another 40 seconds off and he threw it on 3rd and 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should run there.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, maybe it's 4th and inches. Maybe go for it there or just kick the field goal. But at least you milk another 40 seconds off. Come on, Washington. I don't want to look at my DraftKings because it'll be a spoiler alert. So.
Oh, man. Mine is... Last weekend was not a good weekend for me.
Asher said he got up to plus 700 in his account.
That bet.
And he lost it all, though.
Well, that's because he's making bets where it's like, I'm gonna take Alabama, like on a fourth down, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was like a $300 and some bet to win 100.
And that was when the odds weren't great, right?
Yeah.
He said he did it on like the first, and then they got that sack or whatever, or fumble.
Well, it was like
I think he ended up winning that, but it wasn't.
He won the bet, but it was like he had to risk 3x the payout.
I think Astro's just the Mingo bar, just slamming shots, just fuck it.
See, this is that is the stuff that I can't stomach. For me, like just doing a steady stream of like $5 bets, even if they're just little parlays or whatever.
I know. Like, I need to get more disciplined at that too. Well, I don't do 300, but it's hard for me not to do like 15 here and there.
Well, no, yeah, I hear you, but like, and that's fine. I think if that's what you want your number to be to go with, I think you got to pick a number and say like, this is what my unit is going to be, whether it's 5, 10, 50, or 100. Mm-hmm. You just have to be willing to be like, this is what I'm going to stick with. I'm
How big's your unit? Only 5?
Barely. 450 after the juice. Well, I mean, like that's the thing is it's like pick a number because that's where you get in trouble. Is like you're making $5 bets and then you get up, and then next thing you know you're like, oh, you know what? There's no way that Alabama doesn't win this game. Let me just put my whole entire bankroll on Alabama. Let me put $150 on Alabama so that I can win $24. And then it's like oh. Yeah, and then someone beats them.
What if Iowa gets up 21-0 tomorrow? Would live bet Michigan?
Yeah.
I bet the odds would still be terrible.
It would be even.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's worth it.
No, it wouldn't be worth it. That's the stuff that I'm talking about, man. The live betting stuff, like chasing with live bets, it'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? It's one thing if you're like, I really like, say you're like, I like Iowa to cover 27, but not 22. Well, if Michigan marches down the field right away, you might get Iowa, plus 27.
Yeah. Even
before they score. And then it's like, okay, well, if you liked them at that before the game, then you had to realize that Michigan might march down and score right away.
First possession.
So, okay. So you still have to like them. But if you're like, I bet Iowa, to cover that, and then, after a couple touchdowns for Michigan, you're like, I still like Iowa. And so you bet them again. It's the chase that'll screw you.
What doesn't help is when you see on Instagram. I know David sends these a lot, like these big hits that guys get.
Yes.
You're like, I want that. Why didn't I do that? But you can't. Like, it's so lucky.
The guys that are doing like, they'll bet like $5 on a parlay of
like 12 teams, 14,
or like 8 guys to get like the first touchdown score. It's like, you know what? They make that bet every Sunday, and 100 guys do the same thing, and this is the one guy that finally hit,
That Big Cat actually had one 2 weeks ago, a touchdown one where like 4 different dudes.
Yeah.
Just random, obscure guys that aren't necessarily superstars. 3 out of the 4 hit. The last one was Javonte Williams on Sunday night or Monday night. And it would have paid out like $10,000, something like that. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But Javonte Williams got the ball on the 2-yard line like numerous times and got stuffed every time. Like that would hurt. Like you were so close.
Oh man. And that's the kind of stuff that happens.
Javonte Williams does not score touchdowns.
The guys that hit those bets, though, like they are not
poor.
Well, no, it's just like this is not just one-offs. These guys have made those bets
every
and
day,
over and over again.
So it might just get them even.
None of us talk about the parlays we lose. We talk about the parlays we win.
Well, every Sunday I do a Hail Mary for NFL.
Yeah.
Got one this week too.
Do you watch any golf? Did you watch any of Tiger come back?
I did not, but I knew was he +1? I heard he struggled on the back.
He played pretty well, like the front nine, the first like 12, 13 holes of each day. Kind of lost a little on the backside. But he looks good.
What's your theory why he went downhill so quick? Just the injuries? Because his swing looks great still, right? Like
it's kind of there's a couple different things, right? The injuries is a big part of it. His swing when he was young, it was a very, like, I don't know, violent swing. It was all out, and then he got into like the soft tissue issues, right? Knees, ankles.
I think he needs Perkins waitresses.
Yeah, but there's also, I don't know, like a thought there that like part of why he was so good was that just mentally no one else could. He was invincible. No one else could touch him. Right?
He was on him and Jordan, kind of similar.
He never had issues outside of anything, out of golf or anything. It was always that he was just better than everybody. Mm-hmm. He shows up to a golf course and people crumble.
Yeah.
And then his wife,
that bitch,
his wife just, had enough. I mean, I assume she knew that he was cheating all the time. He must have done something that was
over the top. Yeah,
and then that was
quite a story. I mean,
she, that whole instance where she came at him with like a 9-iron and he wrecked his Escalade. Was kind of downfall. Like it was like then it's like people are like, oh man, he's
always
invincible.
With the boy. Like she's still in the picture, right? Like has the kid a lot? Or,
yeah. And they have kids together, so they have
that young guy looks pretty good, Charlie. Jesus.
Yeah. But then after that, like I think there was a lot of him trying to figure out how to get back to that feeling of invincibility, and he did things that
got in his own head a little bit. Yeah.
Like he trained as like a Navy SEAL. He trained as a Navy SEAL and like blew out his ACL.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah, like he just did a number of things that were just really, really bad for him.
By the way, Tiger Woods, all-time guy, #1 pick, looks better in a hat.
Yeah, good old.
Way better.
Good old Eldrick. He does not have a lot of good lettuce up there, man.
No, but he kind of is a nice-looking guy in the hat, but takes it off. Oof.
Yeah.
He's got to be the #1 pick on that.
Yeah. And now, like, it's just every injury has compounded on the other,
Yeah, I mean,
and that car wreck he had,
yeah,
like, he's lucky to be alive. He's lucky he can still walk, and the fact that he can still swing a golf club is amazing.
I remember that everyone was like, "Is he dead?" Like Jesus,
I think there was a good shot that he was gonna be dead.
Was that before or after the Kobe shock? I can't remember if that was.
It was after. It was just 2 years ago, I think.
That Kobe one shook me. That was shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, I never been
that was like an Easter weekend, I think, because I think I was over at my aunt and uncle's.
It started off with like a Twitter rumor. JD read it to me. She's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "That's not true. That's got to be fake." Unbelievable.
Yeah. And that was, that was by no fault of his own. Just a freak accident.
Speaking of conspiracy.
Oh, is there a conspiracy theory there?
You haven't heard that?
No. Is this like Jordan did it because he didn't want?
No, nothing to do with Jordan. Kobe was Nike, I believe, right?
Yeah, I assume.
He got pissed at him. Was leaving the company and bringing numerous stars to his own brand.
Oh no way!
You got to look it up.
No. Nike is not murdering people.
And there's another conspiracy. Something about the Mamba. Well, this is some homework for you for our next podcast.
I think you're gonna win this bet.
Let's go. Yeah, touchdown bet.
Yeah, Tiger looked good though. I got a chance to watch. Like this tournament though, is kind of soft. Like it's funny. It's got like the best golfers in the world, but they're all down there in like I think it's in the Bahamas.
Ooh.
And it's like a tournament for, it's mostly people who have won the past year or whatever, and
so it's none of the like live guy or whatever.
They won't.
They can't do that. Yeah. I saw Rom's going now.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. But Tiger looked good. He's hitting the ball good. He's swinging good. He's walking good. I think that's the key for him is he's got to be able to handle the walking. He looks rusty.
He probably is. What a story it'd be though if he could somehow win a major again.
If he can he's got to stay upright, man. He's got to stay healthy. If he can do that, then I think he can win tournaments again and maybe a major.
That's
because he's still hitting the ball as far as some of these young guys.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, I don't like that call. Second one.
I'm just glad to see him back out there. Makes golf a little more interesting.
Oh, it does. He's such a draw. Talk about a guy that's had he was a hero, then a villain, and now he's a hero again. Like, he's such a...
You don't really see that often.
No, usually once you...
Especially with the stuff that he did.
Yeah, you don't usually get a second chance from that.
I mean, we're not just talking about some sort of, like, drug deal. No, this man was...
Fucked a lot of women.
The epitome of a womanizer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he came back from it, honestly. But
people act like it never happened now.
Oh, you don't even hear about it.
Yeah. Whoever his PR team is.
Great. Yeah, like I follow these golf accounts, funny stuff, and they just praise him like Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah. The Barstool guys, the Barstool golf guys, they just love him. Yeah. And
I do think it humbled him a bit. He seems a little more down to earth nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know.
I think he got a dose of reality. I mean, he's got kids, and I think the idea that those kids get to see, like, that he did that kind of stuff was a bit of a reality check for him.
Yeah. I hope my kids know that I was that big of a badass. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. They're going to have to...
Yeah. I just passed out at Perkins. I didn't do anything with the waitresses.
They'll get to come back and listen to all, the several thousands of episodes of Soft Knocks.
Maybe we'll be up to 1,000 downloads by then. There it is. That's got to be it.
That's it, right? What was the plus money on your bet?
I mean,
it's a spoiler if you look at it, but I mean, it had to be what? Like, it had to be more than plus 200, right?
I think I only put like $3 to win like 16 or 17.
Oh, well, that's pretty good numbers, though.
Yeah. I'll take it. I've been losing a lot lately, so.
I mean, I'm going to lose mine, but whatever.
What'd you take? Or the teaser?
I did a teaser with Oregon and the other game that was on the night.
Yeah.
Well, it's Oregon. Who knows, man? Maybe they just fire off a couple touchdowns.
I wouldn't be sorry if they score here, but man, there's only they got 3 timeouts.
Yeah, they got to score
quick, and
they got to score quick, stop them, or get an onside kick. It's not looking good.
And the Bo Nix Heisman thing can stop now. Oh shit, that was pretty quick. That was really quick.
Oh, and
I think he's in. Oh, he did step. Oh. All right, I won't
he's
do.
In. He did.
He is in. They're going to review that. Yeah, he was not out at all. Not even close.
Yeah. It's still amazing to me that we still have to rely on fucking human beings.
I know. Where's the AI here?
Like, you telling me they can't put like sensors in these people's shoes?
I agree.
And put some sort of like
they're on the sideline.
I hate to tell you this, but I already looked at the score, and the score is 38-34 Oregon.
No! How?
I'm just kidding. I haven't looked.
You motherfucker. That would have been an exciting ending, though.
It can still happen.
It could still happen. Yeah, it's third down. This could happen. Oh, it's not going to happen. Woo! Ball game.
Oh, funny.
Fuck you, Bo Nix. Are you finally graduated?
Oh, man. That'll do it. There you go. Like I said in a prior episode, Washington in the playoff.
You did say that. All right, let's check. What's my big account now?
Did you get your $14 from your bet?
Let's see. Oh my God, you're not going to believe this.
What?
I forgot I did the over 2 and I lost.
You parlayed the over with it? Oh, and it was 30. It just got to 65. The over had to be like 66.
Oh my God, it was 65 and a half.
Oh, fuck. Oh, this is why we shouldn't do it. Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Well,
I thought I just did one straight up, too. Motherfucker. Oh, my God. I was just cheering for no reason.
I can't believe you missed it by half a point.
Oh, I can't believe I really thought I did them just straight up. I really did.
That's a me move right there. As I look at it and I go, yeah, but this looks good.
Oh,
but God. What if I added to it?
Yes. That's why I'm not disciplined enough. I'm just
Have you seen that meme where it's like it's McConaughey from the movie Interstellar, and the meme is
when
like he's like, here's a picture of me as I watch myself add the losing leg of the parlay. He's like, no.
Oh my God! What a brutal beat. What a fucking brutal beat. I was cheering.
What a roller coaster of emotion.